And here we go. It is Monday, the 13th of October, 2025, and you are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube, and we're streaming at WYAB.com. We're really excited. We're going to get a huge upgrade to our radio signal here by the end of the month. It's going to be great. So if you can't tune into us over the airwaves, we really appreciate you picking up on the stream. Look, if you want to be part of the program today, it's easy. 601-879-0002. The text line, Clay and I, in the last hour, if you got to listen to the last hour, that crossover hour is just absolutely awesome. And Clay swears by it. I swear by it too. The text line is awesome. If I don't always answer your text, it doesn't mean that I'm not reading them. Sometimes it just comes in and I'll get like 15 or 20 different texts on the same story. And I'm like, yep, got it. Thank you. And if I don't respond to your text personally, I apologize, but it gets really cluttered sometimes. And I'll do a better job to get back to y'all. But if you want to be part of the text line, the number is 601-879-5060. And the mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You are. How am I going to try to equip you? I'm going to try to give you gentle answers that turn away wrath. I'm not going to give you so many harsh words that I'm going to fire you up and cause anger. I don't want to cause anger. I want to cause thought. And I can sit there and politically slay people and drop fire, and that's the easy part. The hard part is, how do you get somebody to be more inclined to go with your point of view? How am I more persuasive? And there are times when we've got to drop fire, but that's not necessarily what we're going to do today. Hi, Amelia. Appreciate you checking in already. It's awesome. Look, in the second hour today, it's going to be great. We're going to have Blake Bartlam. He doesn't have school today. So guess what? He's coming into the studio for the whole second hour. And we're going to talk about what a Zoomer thinks about a boomer. We're going to think about what a Zoomer thinks about what's going on in Mississippi today. And, there are so many people out there who are always whining, complaining, moaning, and just carrying on about things that are going on politically, but don't do anything about it. This dude's running circles around everybody, and it's wonderful to watch. And I'm grateful and thankful I can call him a friend. Blake's going to be here in the second hour. Tomorrow is Charlie Kirk's birthday, and I am actually going to play the audio that I feel is why Charlie Kirk was assassinated and murdered. And the thing is, it's about 13 minutes of audio, and there is no way to get around it. You can't interrupt it, but it, it is actually promotes the style of gentleness, giving correction in a way that's not necessarily incendiary, and it will draw people in to where I'm trying to get us, because that's the whole goal of the radio show. Some people, their goal is to make money on the and we should make money. We want to make money, but there's got to be a higher purpose to stuff. And my higher purpose is to get more people who have a biblical worldview involved in local politics. And this is going to be one of those things that happens. Eric, appreciate you checking in, man. It's great when I have Clay's listeners just jump from his stream into mine. I so appreciate that. And look, if you want to follow me on X, you can. It's just at Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. If you'd follow me on X, Rumble, YouTube, wherever else you might follow me, that I would certainly appreciate that. So there are all sorts of rumors running around, and I don't necessarily want to completely get away from Black culture, because it's also our news media coverage. Do you know that I looked this morning for a bunch of different news sources, national news sources, that were talking about all the gun violence in Mississippi this weekend? CBS, one story. NBC, one story. ABC, no story. Nope. Nothing. Nothing's talking about that. You know why? Doesn't fit the narrative. If that would have been either a MAGA person or let's just call it like it is, a white dude, it would be all over the place. We would be going nuts. Eric, we'll get to the boomers here in a little bit. But you think about just what happened in Mississippi. 4 different sites, multiple people dead, and, there actually, the best place that had a coverage of this was Dark Horse Press, but you had to go through all of the different stories to line it all up. And again, that just goes to show you that the traditional media that they're expecting all of us to listen to is absolute hot garbage. It's not worth listening to. It's better listening to Clay Edwards in the morning. It's better listening to Andrew Gosser in the morning or Chip Matthews or Lindsay and Sean, Kim Wade at night. Much better. Much better. Last thing about this before we start unloading on the boomers a little bit, and they do deserve it. The one place out of all the liberal newspapers and art places where I go to get news that has a decent story on it is the Mississippi Free Press of all people. Mississippi Today, horrible. I didn't think WLBT did a good job. I don't necessarily think some of these other places that I normally go to get news stories are, but at least the actual facts and data are here at the Mississippi Free Press. 9 dead and at least 15 injured this weekend in Mississippi shootings in 5 counties. And again, this is the culture that is been carefully laid out and plotted on the Black community over decades, maybe even a century. Maybe even a century. Whether you wanna talk about the music that glamorizes the gangster lifestyle, the thug lifestyle, or whether it's the pulpits that no longer tell us to be kind and love thy neighbor like you love yourself, but to go out there and get right up in someone's face. Where did civility go to? Where did where did honestly just being a good human go to? I tell you this, I cannot remember a time in my lifetime from age, I guess, 3 when I probably had my first conscious recallable memory to now, where we have shootings like this. I mean, you would think that the news media would be all over this. We actually outdid Chicago this weekend, and I've got plenty of stuff on Chicago and Pritzker and also real quick, the whole thing about Trump not getting the Nobel Peace Prize this year, I'm not worried about it. If he doesn't get it next year, well, that's when you have to be worried about it. If you go to nobelpeaceprize.com, it's the official website. He had to be nominated for the Peace Prize officially before the 31st of January of this year, and he wasn't. But I'm telling you, if he doesn't get it next year for the stuff that he did, then we're gonna be out there. And so now I've got a lot of my boomer friends checking in saying, "Andy, why are you roasting the boomers?" I'm not roasting the boomers who raised Gen X and taught us to be decent human beings. I'm talking about the boomers who manipulated the system for themselves. Boomers like Nancy Pelosi or Adam Schiff or Chuck Schumer. I mean, think about this. Chuck Schumer is promoting the government shutdown, saying the longer it's shut down, the more it helps us. Chuck, who is us? They not like us. Can I culturally appropriate that? They not like us. There is a complete disconnect, and I don't know what it is, but even my mother, who turns 80 this year, has even and said that her generation screwed something up. And the truth of the matter is we can talk about boomers, but right now, the boomers have the majority of the money, and they've earned it, and they're exercising what they wanna do with it. And I didn't have a lot of sound bites for today. I like more talking about what I took in over the weekend and just kind of sharing that with you. But the amount of people that I see who are protesting everything that's going on right now, whether it be the really nice fancy signs, who's paying for that? A bunch of boomers are. Whether they give to the NGO and then the NGO gives to Antifa and to the No Kings, or whether it's a big organization like George Soros. We can't let him off the hook either. There are so many there are so many people out there from that demographic, from that, um, generation who have completely set up their whole life to go to something like this, to actually take down or try to take down American society, and you're not gonna beat America in a war. You're just not. We have we truly, even now, as screwed up as we are, we have the best production lines. We can produce what we need. We can fight a war. The only way to take down the United States of America is from within, and I genuinely believe this is where this is all heading to. They had to pit us against each other. Race was just the easiest way to do it, and now we are seeing the fruits of their efforts. But, and I'm getting a lot of, texts here too, just telling me to make sure that, "Hey, not all of us boomers are over the edge." Nah, most boomers are great, but it's always the ones who jump in front of the camera, right? That's kind of how things get identified. So, like, I was talking about the Portland Ukulele Band sitting out there talking about, there's literally fires and things on fire inside Portland, and you've got the governor and the mayor saying, "Everything's fine here. Everything's fine here." It's not fine. That might be your definition of fine. That might be your definition of what is normal. But I'm telling you, car fires, burning tires in the middle of the streets, going after federal agents, that's not normal, and it's not right. And if we didn't have these illegal aliens here, maybe we wouldn't have that problem. And there are a lot of really good boomer business people out there who are doing everything they can to support our police, to support our efforts to get our country back. But I'm telling you this, and this was something as I was sitting in church yesterday thinking about, the more and more we try to figure out, why is the black community going the way it's going? Why is the white community going the way it's going? How come Asians don't seem to be affected by this at all? How come the Hispanics are being affected by this? The more I think, it's just that we are becoming less inclined to follow on what this country was founded upon, and more on ourselves and what's more for us. Boomers laid out the groundwork for all of this, Eric Melton says. Boomer Hill still have the protest hippie mentality to think it's cool, but at the end of the day, it's all self-absorbed. That's a very good point, Eric Melton. I'll go one step further. The most of the people you've got the people who are out there who genuinely believe what they're doing is good, but then you've got a bunch of live action role players out there. They put on the helmets, the ski mask, the face mask, some wear chemicals, you know, uh, gas masks and all this craziness. They're out there live action role playing. And, the boomers did it a little bit with Woodstock and in the 70s and 80s. Free will, free love, completely turning our marriage norms on its head. And now we're scrambling to figure out, why is our birth rates declining? Why are our men not wanting to date? It's just a perfect mess that's going on right now, and we have to come to some conclusion on how to fix it. And unfortunately, a lot of it's gonna end up being a lot of tough talking about, "Hey, the things that we did back in the '80s, they were wrong." Having just having music that lessens the value of women is wrong. The system that we've got in place to try to make sure that we take care of kids is not really working when you've got 2,000,000 families who wanna adopt kids inside America. It's just absolutely our whole nation is stuck on its head right now. They found 7 kids who had been missing in Chicago. Is that even being talked about? Nope. They're worried about the WGN journalist who got tackled to the ground because she wouldn't comply with ICE officers. And everybody's like, "Oh, look at the poor boomer." And then we all wonder why people are going down that road. I don't necessarily like labels, but generational labels, I mean, it is what it is. You got the greatest generation, the baby boomer generation. Then there's that generation between the boomers and Gen X, and then you've got the millennials, then you got the Gen Zers. There's all sorts of stuff to talk about this, and I've only got, like, another 2 segments to go because Blake Bartlum from Brandon, Mississippi, is on the way, and he'll be in here for the next hour, and I can't wait to talk to him. You are listening to The Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back. Oh, yeah, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. If you haven't liked the stream yet, if you haven't liked the live stream yet, I'd appreciate it if you go ahead and like it, share it, heart it, whatever it is that social media platform does. All sorts of great comments coming in. Eric saying, man, I wish I could go through the whole timeline of the boomers from the 1970s until today, showing how their greed has affected this country. You know what? There's something to be said about that. The Wall Street boom in the 80s. I mean, we had a movie came out called Greed that was talking about how people were manipulating the stock market to make more and more money. That's not to say that I'm against the stock market. I love the stock market. It does create wealth. But again, why is it that the greed was allowed to prosper in the first place? The biblical worldview would say is that around 1982, something happened where God just went away. We talked less and less about it, and it became less and less important in our lives. And we can talk about we don't need God in our life. This is what's going on in the world today. I would argue that that's what's going on there. And then the text lines, everybody has just completely started blowing this up. And this is an unknown texter saying, teenagers in 2025 have no common sense. Why? Baby boomers have always complained about the younger generation as they were perfect, but they did have common sense, but they also had it way too easy as well. You know, I think every generation has different struggles that they're going with. You know, especially with my daughter, we talk about it all the time. The dangers of Instagram, the dangers of OnlyFans, dangers of women posting not even, necessarily bad pictures, but just suggestive pictures, completely devalues women. And we're doing that, and we promoted that. So I think that's part of it. I genuinely think the other part of it, and I don't know if it's Gen X or if it's a different generation, is that we always wanted it easier for our kids than we had it. And I can remember thinking that. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Andrew, I think this is the perfect time for August 1981.
Remind me.
You remember? Okay. It's kind of funny when you talk about the boomers because I am a boomer.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, my parents, I had my first job at 12 years old delivering papers. First one in my family to go to college. So they said, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to get a job. So I had a job. So I started a photography company up in Ole Miss.
Yep.
And back in 1978, went around, did pictures at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Delta State, LSU, Tulane, Alabama. Was photographed with about 100 fraternities and sororities all over the South. Now, you go to a party and they would all be dancing different. But all of a sudden, in August of 1981, I'd go to Mississippi State. A certain song would come on. They would start dancing the same way they did at Ole Miss, at University of Southern Mississippi, at Tulane, LSU, and Alabama. What happened in August of 1981?
I only know the answer because you reminded me. So I'm going to let you get
MTV.
That is
MTV.
it. Video killed the radio star.
Right. So when people say that all of this stuff on YouTube doesn't matter, on Twitter doesn't matter, on TV, back when MTV used to actually play music, but I was just completely amazed, and I deal, what I do with youth and everything. And when they're saying, no, it's fine that they're on their phone all the time, and I'm like, nope. And I explain that to them, and you can just see the look on their face like, oh, my gosh.
Yep. And think about this, brother. MTV was the only real signal for them to start pushing that stuff through society. Now you have social media that you can completely bypass the mainstream and just create entire platforms out there, entire cultures out there, communities out there where people don't even ever really meet in real life. They just sit there and meet in the chat room or whatever. And these different views get promulgated about society. You're absolutely correct with the MTV. analogy, and I think it's brilliant.
Well, Andrew, too, if you might be a little bit too young to remember when it very first came out, but people would get together and have parties and just sit and, watch the videos they were creating. And it didn't take long, and this is the same way with the social platforms right now. And I'm not against them. Don't get me wrong. I think they have their place. But it was fun in the beginning, and it didn't take very long that the social political agenda of other people, not only in the music, but also the music videos and how they were produced.
Yep.
And of course, now it's almost like just sort of like late night TV. It's just another arm of a political party. Anyway, I'll let you have your show back, but I thought you'd find that interesting.
No, Kim, I think that, dude, I think that go ahead.
One other thing, too. Online, I got you online in the car, streaming. You're sounding good up here in Arkansas, man.
Oh, I appreciate that. We're going over all the different states.
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Dude, I appreciate it. You know, the other thing, too, that I think is important to realize with MTV is, it started off very clean and appropriate, but you could watch it over time descend into more, and I don't know how else to say it other than more and more debauchery. And I have to, as a 16-year-old male that didn't have any testosterone problems, I was out there. I appreciated that, but I didn't realize what that was doing to me personally, how it was programming
especially when you have a show on MTV.
Yep.
That's glorifying a 16-year-old that's getting ready to graduate high school and how she balances having two kids out of wedlock by two different guys.
Yeah.
And, which I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying you don't have to glorify it, because that person is statistically, they're going to have a hard time for the rest of their life versus like my wife and myself that have been, together for 47 years. And we started saving. Matter of fact, you talk about the economics of it, is we didn't even get married, of course, in 1978 until each one of us had $2,000 in savings. Both of our cars were paid off. Once we met that goal, then we got married. We wanted to make sure that we could do that before we got married. Now you're just going to live on love, and you're going to max out your credit card and want Uncle President to pay for your college loan.
Dude, that's a whole nother can of worms, man. You see these 15, 16-year-olds, going in and just swiping their credit cards, not their credit cards, their mom or dad's credit cards or their grandparents' credit card. And they have absolutely how much was that? Oh, $140. And like my eyes pop out of my head. I'm like, do you even have any concept of how long that would take you to make that $140? They can't even go out and get jobs like we did when we were young, it's, and to the other point, I wrote this down and I have to get this and then I got to hit the break, but we would get together to watch MTV Saturday night at 10 o'clock, Nina Hartwood, MTV, Headbangers Ball. Remember that, man? Oh, we all of us would get together at one of our houses and parents were like, hey, you're all in, and we crash out and sit there and watch Headbangers Ball for I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 hours. I think it was 3. But
well, you got to remember now, when I was doing the 30s and Smarties, I partied for a living, so yeah, I knew music and everything.
Yep.
I kept up with it. I went to 360 parties in 1986.
And you got paid to do it.
I got paid for it, right?
That is what you call
later, man.
Properly monetizing the business situation. Brother, thanks for the call. We'll talk again soon.
All right, brother. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We will be right back.
cut rates, your dollar shrinks. So do your savings. The solution? Own something real. Physical gold and silver. When the dollar drops, gold and silver prices rise. And with Noble Gold, owning gold is simple. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com and chat with a specialist. The knowledge is free. The protection is priceless. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult your financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Here's Greg Gutfeld.
Well, where did the attempt on Trump's life come from? Or the sniper attack on ICE, or the torching of Tesla cars, Charlie Kirk's assassination, Andrew Gould's text wishing death on children? They're all of a piece, actions resulting from the same dehumanizing narrative. If they say you're a Nazi, then they can treat you like one. They abuse language so much, the people that murder children are now the good guys. And what of the Dems who clap back with, hey, it's not all of us, and what about you? They like to call what happened to Charlie or the murderous attempts on Trump isolated incidents, as if they happened in a vacuum, when it's the complete opposite, the results of a very public brainwashing. But the Dems who dismiss their homicidal allies, they're like the dope in the shallow end of a swimming pool, believing it's not a problem. No, it is your problem. You're all in the same pool, and that is coming for you.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcast.com.
If you've had an accident, remember Clinton Body Shop. We work for you, not your insurance company. Don't be misled by someone telling you that you will have to pay more than your deductible. Our shops hold multiple certifications from the makers of today's vehicles. We are the longest running ICAR Gold Class certified repair facility in Mississippi. We know how to repair your vehicle, and we will work with your insurance company on your behalf. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Health has always been reactive, focused on fixing problems as they happen. But with Blue Primary Care, we're taking a proactive approach, working with you to help you understand your health and empowering you to be healthy. It's time to prioritize you, your health, and your life. The results? Less worrying and more living. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue.
Venable Glass is your local glass expert, offering residential, automotive, and commercial glass. Venable Glass can do it all. What sets Venable Glass apart from the rest? Unmatched reliability and customer service. Don't forget, tell your insurance company that you want to use Venable Glass. And remember, you do have a choice. Let Venable Glass work hard to earn your business. Call Venable's Ridgeland or Brandon locations today for a free estimate or visit venableglass.com.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Whether you're at home, in your car, or on the field, let Shelter be your shield. Come see me, Jamie Creel.
Burgers, blues, barbecue, the name says it all. At our spots in Madison, downtown Brandon, and Flowood at Dogwood, dive into mouth-watering, award-winning burgers and barbecue like our tender brisket and savory pulled pork that'll have you licking your fingers clean. Our B3 Catering Company can handle any job from 5 to 5,000 people, and with 2 food trucks ready for all your special events. Check out the all-new burgersblues.com to view our full menu, order carryout, and delivery by locally owned Take a Break deliveries.
Oh, yeah, we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Blake is already here. It's going to be awesome next hour. We're going to interview him for the whole hour, get his takes on stuff. But we were talking about things that back in the 80s and the 70s, things that specifically the boomer generation did that maybe have all this hostility pitted us against each other. And even thinking about it now, I'm like, even though I understand the boomers are pushing an agenda, is this what the people who are over the boomers want us to do? Because ultimately, in the end, what has it done? It's put culture against culture inside of America. That's the key to understanding all of this. It is that like I said, they cannot take us out militarily. You cannot. It's just not going to work. But you can pull apart the United States of America. You can pull it apart from the inside out. Whether you look at our Civil War, North versus the South, the abolitionists against slavery, we have all of these different examples of where internally we've had a lot of big fights. But the threats externally, well, they might cause some fear or they might end up hurting us in the short term. We rebound pretty quickly, whether that be Pearl Harbor, 9/11, take your pick. But we don't lose fights when it comes to military like that. We really don't. So that's the point there. And we got some more comments here. In 1980, you mean the crack epidemic that the boomers let spread across our country for profit? We have to be truthful. The people who were in power back in the 80s were making bank off of the crack cocaine epidemic. And the truth is I've never done drugs, so I couldn't even tell you the difference between crack cocaine and regular cocaine. I know that there's a difference in there somewhere. Forgive me, I'm not your illegal drug specialist, so someone will have to come get me brought up to speed on that. And the text line continues to blow up, and I just want to make sure that I'm honoring all of these. This is from Miss Carrie. Hey, this is Carrie. Just wanted to save your text line in my phone. Love your show. Well, I appreciate that too, Miss Carrie. Hopefully you share it on Facebook, X, wherever you might be doing your social media. And let's grow this thing, because the ultimate goal of this is to have a bunch of people who love God and love freedom become part of the Mississippi GOP in 2028. And that is the sole existence of this show. It would make me so happy if I got to go to the Mississippi GOP state convention. I got to go this last one, and it was great. It was better than the one that I did in Illinois by far. But I would love to go again and be with a younger crowd. Not to say that some of the people in the older crowd aren't bad, but it's just time that we freshen up. And this is perhaps getting to the point to where so many of you texting saying, why won't the boomers give up power? No one wants to give up power. It's very rare that you see somebody actually wanting to get out. And if they are getting out, it's because they are getting cooked and are under so much pressure. They're like, just forget this. It's not worth it anymore. Or they were threatened. But my point is this. If we do not build the bench, it's just going to create a bigger and bigger vacuum. And right now, there is no bigger vacuum than inside the Democrat Party. There is a complete lack of power there. Chuck Schumer is just trying to save his own behind. That's all that is. Look in our Black communities. Who are the leaders there? Seriously, who is leading Jackson right now? Mayor Horn? That is the elected leader. I would agree with that. But I mean, what's really going on there to make Jackson better today? Well, Andy, they're so far in debt and they can't get water and they've got so many problems that well, I didn't ask for a list of excuses. Clearly, Mayor Horn knew what he was getting into the day he signed his name on the dotted line and said, yep, I'm running for mayor of Jackson. I'm not even concerned with some of the salaries that they're paying for some of their workers. I genuinely am not. A good IT person, $85 a year, that's a deal, as long as they're doing what they're supposed to do. Public Works, that's a big deal. You want somebody who can go in there and say, hey, we can just go ahead and drop a culvert across here. Or, you know what, we need to get some engineering here on this. Because let me tell you, every time you have to engineer a project, it's expensive. It's ridiculous. But that's where we're at. The boomers, I almost want to try to put myself in their shoes. Why did they want to make life so much better for us? I mean, I can remember my mother telling me this clearly. Andy, I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. And I can remember her telling me that. And what I would say is adversity builds character. And I know I was only 17 at the time when I went to boot camp, but I can remember the first time and they bring you in at night, so you're already sleep deprived, and they just start yelling at you. And I just remember thinking to myself, this is so silly. He wants me to do this one thing. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and it's going to be fine. And then they let you go to sleep for 2 hours, and then it's the typical Hollywood boot camp thing. They're throwing the garbage can down the middle, people crying and yelling. I remember looking over and seeing who was a guy who's clearly older than me. He's young, probably like 22, 23, bawling his eyes out. And he's like a 2 company commander sitting there going nuts, yelling at him. And I just start laughing. And laughing at boot camp is never a good idea. But hey, it is what it is. And but the military builds a lot of character. Perhaps the youths of America today need to go through some struggle. Maybe they don't need a credit card. Maybe they need to go get a job. Maybe we have to allow them to go get a job and not put in all these rules in place to say, oh, you can't get a job until you're 18 or you're 16, but you can't work more than 5 hours a week. It's all in the name of protecting the children. Save the children. Nah, they're just grooming the hell out of the children. And it's not even debatable. Look, I've got Brother Blake in the studio. We're going to take our last commercial break of the hour, and we will be right back. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB.
103.9 WYAB.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
This ad is for all the guys who work hard and they expect their truck to do the same. At RPT Commercial, we have the accessories to help you on the job site. From names like Bedrock flatbeds, WeatherGuard toolboxes, Nap-High service bodies, ARE camper tops, deck storage solutions, and so much more. Stop by our new store on Highway 80 in Pearl and check with our expert staff and see what they can do to make the job just a little bit easier on you. At RPT Commercial, trucks live here.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
There's never been a better time to buy a new construction home in the city of Brandon at Hyde Park. Take advantage of builder incentives, including seller pay closing costs or rate buydowns that help you lower your payment by hundreds. Prices start at $299,000 at Hyde Park. These beautiful homes offer LVP flooring, gas fireplace, and 2-car garages, all backed by a wonderful builder's warranty. Hey, I'm Brad Burleson with UList Realty, and I'd love to show you around Hyde Park anytime. Give us a look at our website, ulistms.com, or simply Google Hyde Park Brandon.
It's time to fall into savings at Mazda of Jackson. With ball games, road trips, and all the busyness, don't miss a thing. With 2.9% financing for 36 months on a new 2025 Mazda CX-5. Or get 2.9% financing for 63 months on the 2025 CX-90. 1-year maintenance is included on your new vehicle purchase. And take advantage of the pre-tariff inventory that's almost gone. Shop online at MazdaofJackson.com or visit Mazda of Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road in Jackson.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled, and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
The mowing season is full on here in Mississippi. I'm David Frederick, owner of Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon. The industry-changing Exmark Laser Z commercial mower turns 30 years old this year and has been redesigned with even more great features you just have to see. We have a sale going on with instant rebates, and 0% financing is available too. Stop by our store and let our award-winning staff show you the Exmark difference. Fredericks and Exmark, over 3 decades serving you in Brandon since 1993.
Come check us out at Planter Supply in the heart of downtown Bentonia. Not only are we here to cover all of your food plot needs, but you will find that we're fully stocked with a variety of ammo and other hunting necessities, including feeders, cameras, and climbing stands. Your pet's health is important to us as well. We have a wide array of animal health products and accessories, along with the highest quality feed for your livestock and pets. So come check us out at Planter Supply in the heart of downtown Bentonia, or give us a call at 662-755-8782.
Oh, yeah, we are back. Thank you, Brother Blake, on the split screen, if you're watching online. Brother Shane, Harlan, great to have you watching along. And the comments are just coming in fast and furious. And I love it when we have this type of engagement.
And the comments,
and this is Eric telling me, you don't understand. It's not power to them. This is entitlement. They believe they know what's best for everyone.
Eric telling me,
I'm a MAGA Republican, and I am not letting the boomer Republicans off the hook.
This is entitlement. They believe they know what's
best
for
for everyone. They are just as bad as the warmongers, and they've done nothing but line their pockets.
I am not letting the boomer Republicans off the hook.
And there's something to be said there, especially when it comes to the military-industrial complex. We see it with these 3- and 4-star generals,
and there's something to be said there.
But the 1- and 2-star, you got a star. You're going to make money being some type of coordinator for Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Northrop.
You got a star.
Or
make money.
Some of these
being
other
some type of
organizations that you probably haven't even heard of, but are just doing crazy
or
work.
Some of these other
and they continue to make money that way.
You probably haven't even heard of, but are just
it's like a good friend of mine was telling me the other day. He's like, Andy, where is Israel getting all the money for all these bombs?
It's like a good friend of mine was
it's
telling
coming
me
from
the
the
other
United
day.
States.
Like,
How
Andy,
exactly
where
it's
is
getting there?
Israel getting all the
I'm
money
not
for
sure.
all these
I
bombs?
haven't done the trace on that yet.
It's coming from the United States. How exactly it's getting there
continues to go on.
Sure.
Bush
I
Senior,
haven't done
the Junior, Dick,
the trace
Bush
on that yet.
Bush Senior, Bush Junior, Dick Cheney
continues to go on. Bush Senior, the Junior, Dick.
There's a whole list of Republican boomers who can't get off the hit.
Cheney.
Other than the Vietnam War, what did the boomers go through?
There's a whole
That's
list
what's so
of
bad.
Republican boomers who can't get off the hit. Other
My
than the
mother
Vietnam
was
War,
born
what
in
did the boomers go
1944.
through?
She's considered a
That's
boomer.
what's so bad.
And she can remember a lot of the
my
tough
mother
stuff.
Was born in 1944, and she's considered
growing
a boomer.
back, growing up in the early 50s.
She can remember a lot of the tough
early
stuff.
60s, where she was just saying,
growing
Andy,
back,
it was tough.
Growing
so
up in the
perhaps,
early 50s.
You know, she
early
didn't have
60s where she was just saying,
up.
Andy was tough.
And she was in Indiana.
Perhaps,
could you imagine growing up? I mean,
you know, she
these
didn't
kids
have
today
air conditioning.
Don't understand. Most kids, I won't say all.
Could you imagine growing up?
Not everybody has central air in Mississippi.
These kids,
but you want to know what? Most of us do.
Most kids,
and my gosh, what happens?
Everybody
the
has
first
central
minute
air in Mississippi, but you want to know what?
First minute,
most
the
of
power
us do.
goes off.
And my gosh, what happens?
Honestly, I think it's actually changed. More people are more worried. Number one, about their cell phone
connection.
connections.
Goes off.
And then number 2 is the air conditioning.
Honestly, I think it's actually changed. More
whatever
people are
else.
more worried, number one, about their cell phone connection.
There's no real
And then number
grounded
2 is the air conditioning.
philosophy
after
on
that,
what making it
whatever
easier.
else.
I wanted to make it easier for Ann.
There's
my
no
son
real
Andrew, my son
grounded,
Austin, my son Noah.
philosophy on what
I want my
making it
daughter to
easier.
have it good.
I wanted to make it easier for Ann.
But do I
my son
necessarily
Andrew, my
want her
son
to have it
Austin, my son
easier?
Noah. I want my daughter to have it
Sometimes,
good.
you've got to fall down and
But
pick
do I
yourself up. You
necessarily
got to
want her to
skin your
have it
knees up a
easier?
little bit. Got to rub some dirt in it. Remember?
Sometimes,
We used to say that in
you've
baseball.
got to fall
just rub
down
some
and
dirt
pick
in it.
yourself
You'll
up.
be all
You got to
right.
skin your knees up a little bit. Got to rub some dirt in it. Remember?
Sometimes
We used to
that's
say that
exactly
in
what we
baseball.
need.
Oh, just rub some dirt in it.
And
You'll be all right.
We don't always get that. And I think that's where some of this
Sometimes
boomer
that's
anger
exactly
is
what
coming
we need.
after, because
And we don't
I will
always
just tell
get
you
that.
this. I
And
did
I
not
think that's
know
where some of this boomer
the
anger is
struggle
coming
that
after,
my mother had
because
growing up.
I will
I
just
had
tell you
different
this,
problems,
I did
but
not
it
know
wasn't
the
anything like what she had. And
the
perhaps
struggle
she's
that my
excited with
mother
that.
had
Perhaps
growing
she
up.
thinks,
I had
that's what
different
the
problems,
important thing
but
was
it
for her.
wasn't anything like what she had. And perhaps she's
And-
excited with
and
that. Perhaps she thinks
Our parents wrong for
that
wanting to
that's what
protect
the
their kids
important
and
thing was
make
for
sure
her.
they have a great life. I know I do. I know most
and
parents do.
Our parents wrong
Some parents
for wanting
don't.
to protect their kids and make sure
Some
they
kids
have a great
sadly
life.
don't even know who
I
their
I
dad
do.
is.
I know most
But
parents
the
do.
government's paying for them.
Some parents don't.
And that's how mama looks at them.
Some kids sadly don't even know who their
Not
dad
as a
is.
human life, but just as
But
a
the government's
paycheck.
paying for them.
And that's
and
part
that's
of the
how
problem
mama
with
looks
boomers
at
too.
'em.
We completely devalued life.
Not
But
as
I'm
a
preaching to the
human
choir.
life, but just as a
You
paycheck.
are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show.
and
We will
that's
be
part of
back
the
in
problem
about
with
8
boomers,
minutes
too.
with
We completely
Blake
devalued
Bartlum.
life.
Take care,
But
everybody.
I'm
Be
preaching
blessed.
to the choir. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We will be back in about 8 minutes with Blake Bartlum. Take care, everybody. Be blessed.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump says a long and painful nightmare is finally over as Hamas and Israel release hostages and prisoners. Now the president is in Egypt for a summit. CBS's Nancy Cordes.
He's going to be meeting with dozens of world leaders who have flown here from all around the globe with the same mission to try to hammer out the details of this peace plan to ensure that the ceasefire holds and that there is an end to the war, an official end to the war in sight. And in order to do that, they really need to figure out some very key details of this timeline.
Earlier, President Trump spoke to Israel's Knesset.
We have done the impossible and brought our hostages home.
Hostage relative Avida Bakhar met with President Trump early in the day.
I'm rebuilt my house because the terrorists, they burned 150 houses in Berry. So I want to tell you thank you.
Back here at home, it's day 13 of the government shutdown. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
There is no negotiating taking place among congressional leaders. Now, we do know when the Senate returns tomorrow, they will try again to vote on a short-term funding bill. Republican leaders at this point are really trying to force Democrats' hands here. They say, in their view, that's really the only way to open the government is if Democrats start to break ranks and support this short-term funding extension.
On the economy, CBS's Jim Krasula tells us holiday hiring may not be what it's been in recent years.
Tariffs and other economic factors are prompting retailers to pull back or even delay plans to hire workers for the upcoming Christmas shopping season. One job placement firm predicts that hiring for the last 3 months of the year will likely fall to its lowest level since the 2009 recession.
Wind and rain are battering much of the East Coast. CBS News meteorologist Rob Marciano is in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Winds, very gusty. They've been gusting to near 60 miles an hour. This storm will slowly move out to sea, but before it does that, we have a pivotal high tide later on this afternoon that will cause inland flooding, not just here on the beaches, but in some communities just a bit inland.
More than 30 people were rescued when typhoon remnants battered western Alaska. Now to St. Helena Island, South Carolina.
En route to a possible active shooting situation, possible gunshot victims.
That's where a Hunt is on for persons of interest in the mass shooting at a bar over the weekend. 4 people were killed. Wall Street, the Dow is up 560. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/.
News and weather brought to you this hour by Flora Animal Hospital, where we treat your pets like our own. Visit our website, floraanimalhospital.com.
The FBI is helping look for suspects. 86 this afternoon and sunny, 57 and clear tonight, 86 Tuesday and sunny. The forecast holds no rain for the next few days, and it's upper 80s by the end of the week. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. In Leland, the mayor is asking you to do something for their grieving community.
It's prayer time in the city for the families. I also want to say it's revival time. Not only in Leland, Mississippi, but all over the country.
The Jackson field office of the FBI is helping authorities in Washington County look through evidence to determine who is responsible for the blood spilled there this weekend, with 6 people dead and 10 more shot. Meanwhile, 2 people have been detained in the shooting at South Delta High School in Rolling Fork. At Jackson State, it wasn't just a shooting near Veterans Memorial during homecoming Saturday, but a fire too, and the Jackson Fire Department and their investigators say the 2 incidents likely have nothing to do with each other. The fire that burned 4 vehicles was likely accidental and started with a Mazda SUV and spread from there to the other cars. But the fire Sunday morning at an abandoned nursing home on Main Street was not an accident and was set intentionally, say firefighters. That happened just after 11 a.m., and by the time firefighters got there, flames were all through the building, which had already been seriously damaged by a previous fire. A home invasion and an assault were reported by a woman in Natchez last week. She told police that a man named Jonathan Stampley busted into her house and hurt her and took off before police got there. Now police say he has been arrested and is charged with home invasion and aggravated domestic assault. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Yes, you are. You are tuned in. You are locked in, and you are ready to launch right here on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. Today is Monday, the 13th of October, 2025. It is hour 2, and that means I got my brother Blake with me. But before we get to Blake, I got to let you know that we're streaming on Rumble. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on X. And we're streaming at WYAB.com. big news coming out from WYAB. We are getting a power upgrade at the end of the month, and we are going to be blasting all over the place. So if you can't, for some reason, listen to us on the air, we really appreciate everybody who tunes into the stream. If you wouldn't mind liking the stream, sharing the stream, getting the word out there, I sure would appreciate it. If you want to follow me on X, you can. It's just Andrew Gosser, AndrewGasser. Blake, real quick, where can they find you on X?
At B Bartlam on X, and then Blake Bartlam on Facebook, TikTok, and yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yes, sir.
We're even going to take phone calls today. If you want to be part of the phone or part of the program and ask Blake or myself a question, the number is 601-879-0002. The text line is 601-879-5060. The mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We're here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word incites anger. We're going to say some stuff that needs to be said, but we're going to do it in a way that doesn't cause a complete and total meltdown in your brain. We hope.
Absolutely.
Brother Blake, how have you been, my man?
I've been good. I'm doing good getting through last year of high school. So how have you been?
Brother, I've been great. I've been to Spain. I got to go on that trip. I was really worried because the doc was like, hey, you might not be able to go. And, we had to honor that. We did buy insurance for me, but, I didn't know I was going to Spain till 3 days before. So it was great. Madrid was awesome. Had some of the best food of my life there.
Wow.
They actually, I know I'm going to be in trouble for saying this, but, the audience knows that I always tell the truth. And the best oyster of my life.
Really?
Dude, it was £6 for one oyster. So that's about $8 for an oyster. But
wow.
This oyster was enormous. And when they shucked it, I guess in America, they drain all the water out of it. It still had the salt water, and they don't put any marinara on it. They just put a little bit of lemon and down the, dude, my goodness gracious, lovable me. It's worth the trip to go to that place. It was so awesome.
Awesome.
Well, for those that don't know, Blake is in his senior year of high school, very politically active, and we need more Blakes in the world. So anytime I get a chance to have Brother Blake on the radio with me, I'm going to give him that opportunity. And Blake, let's just talk about, obviously the biggest thing to happen in the United States this year was the political assassination of Charlie Kirk, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
At least inside the country. How are you feeling about that? What are your thoughts?
I was pretty distraught for about a week there because he was someone that had been an inspiration to me for as long as I can remember that I was interested in politics. And it was very telling to see how many people celebrated it too.
Yep.
And it's just but the Bible said that what Satan intends for evil, God intends for good. And I think that is absolutely the message and the way that we can see that the world has reacted to this, whether it's the increase in Turning Point chapters, most importantly, the increase in church attendance, and then how people have been involved. I think it is something that God is going to use for good. And I think that's exactly what Charlie Kirk would have wanted.
I agree. When he was asked that question 3 weeks before his death, when you're gone, well, how do you want people to remember you? And he goes, well, if I die, I'm not dying anytime soon. And it's just very interesting. He wanted to be courageous for his faith. And we do that here on this show.
Yeah.
Biblical worldview is the way to go. How did your friends at school look at the assassination?
Well, usually they're not as inclined to get involved in politics, but there was absolutely a reaction from them that they wanted to get more involved. And I think that barrier of getting young people involved gets smaller every single day. And we're chipping away at it as much as we can. People definitely realize that there's a lot more going on than just left versus right.
Yep.
And I think that they're gearing up for that battle, and eventually they're going to be ready for it. And it's really just God's timing from there.
I agree. It's all about God's timing. And the truth of the matter is that this has been being put together by somebody for a very long time. They've been trying to figure out a way to take down the United States. We grew so quickly as a nation. People have completely forgotten about how our country was formed. And tomorrow, on Charlie's birthday, I'm actually going to play the clip that I believe got him killed
Mhm.
because it is so powerful. It's 13 minutes long. I'm just going to basically give the intro and run the whole thing.
Yeah.
People might think that that's cheating in radio, but I think anytime that I can amplify Charlie's voice, I'm going to do it. I'll do it with Rush's voice too.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, and hopefully bring more people into the fray, helping you lead some people in there. So what have you been up to over the past, I think it's been 3 months, man.
Something like that.
yeah.
I think the last time I came on was right before school started, so that would have
Yeah.
been July. We've been doing good. The rhino removal project is picking up steam. I'll be able to throw around some money with that here soon.
Wow.
And see what else have we been doing? Conservative Coalition's growing every single day.
That is awesome.
That's been really good. And then we're starting up a sort of youth media group that's focused on the conservative youth in Mississippi with Chris Tapia. It's going to be called I think Stand the Gap, something like Stand the Gap.
Yep.
And it's that's going to be really important for us as well. So yeah, doing great things.
When that happens, let me know because I want to make sure that I hook up. Chris and I worked together when Chris McDaniel was
Yes, sir.
running for lieutenant governor, and
Yeah.
Chris is a good guy. And the thing is we've got to empower more people like that, so where the old and crusty people like me who have all this knowledge in our nuggets can just download it to y'all, and then, you know, I could just sit there on the sheep farm.
Absolutely.
And I'll have you over, and we'll just sit on some chairs, drink some sweet tea, and yell at the sheep. It's a lot of fun.
That's I think it's really important that, you know, some people view us having multiple different groups as sort of instead of having one united front is sort of problematic. I don't think so, because I think that the more that we work together, the stronger that we're going to be. And if you have different groups that focus on different things, you're ultimately going to create one strong machine in and of itself. So I think it's very important, and it's going to be great for this state that we have all of these different arms that are working towards the same mission.
It was one of the greatest lessons I learned in the United States Air Force, which was centralized control, decentralized execution.
Mm-hmm.
The centralized control is nothing more than a mission statement of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it ethically. Decentralized execution is what works for Blake and Rankin might not work for Andy and Hines, which might not work for somebody in somewhere else,
Mhm.
right? So we have to go ahead and realize that, and we have to also realize is they don't want us talking to each other. I'm seriously, and I'm not like trying to threaten anybody or anything like that, but Clay Edwards and what he's doing, talking about the culture rot in the Black community, it's truly groundbreaking. And he's not doing it in a way that's disrespectful. He's just calling it out for what it
Mhm.
is. And how do we change that? How do we go ahead and try to have people come into WYAB, get on the radio, and say, this is why the Black culture is
Yeah.
failing. And by the way, I'm Black. I know what the heck I'm talking about. You know,
Yeah.
we're getting to that point, and Clay's leading the charge on that. How do you feel about, you know, all those shootings and what's happening with the Black community?
I think it's terrible, and there's so many ways you can talk about this
Mhm.
and the reasons for it and everything, but you're absolutely right. You need to call it out for what it is, and you can't be nice about it because people are literally dying. And
Yep.
if you don't call it out, then that's not going to change. It's absolutely a lack of having fathers in the home. It's absolutely a lack of ultimately care in some of our African American communities because of the way that single motherhood has been subsidized by welfare in this country. And it's just, it doesn't help whenever their leaders, I put that in air quotes for a
Yep.
reason, because they seem to be nowhere, are focused really on more of the hyperbolic racism issues that aren't really as prevalent as they make it out to seem. And you were talking about earlier how it's the boomers that have caused a lot of this, and you can go back to the 1960s, and the Civil Rights Act was great, but some of the aspects of it absolutely led to some of the things we see today with the subsidization of single motherhood.
Yep.
And the way that welfare is treated in some of our communities in this country. And I think it was absolutely intentful, and unfortunately we're starting to bear the results of that. But I think it, to a larger extent, you need to start looking at the Mississippi GOP, because they have let this go on. They have let Benny Thompson have his seat for how many ever decades at this point.
Yep.
And if you're not going to do anything about it, eventually you're going to become complicit. And I think that the Mississippi GOP has absolutely become complicit, because they haven't dedicated hardly any resources to taking that seat from Benny Thompson, who has caused so much bad things to happen in this country. You saw what he did with the January 6th committee. Something needs to happen, and they need to stop waiting until late September to get involved in those races.
You know, it really bothers me as someone who's coming from a blue state like Illinois, and how we allow something like this to happen in a red state. And I have many in the Mississippi GOP, good dudes and dudettes, who Trumpsters, and they're all the way, but they're like, we can't touch that. We can't touch that. And what we need to do is bring in new leadership inside the GOP, not because we want to say that old people, but just who think differently, who will look at Benny Thompson and say he's not undefeatable. In saying that, we need to have a candidate who lives in the 2nd district, who can go out and if he's not independently wealthy, can go out and fundraise.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Ron Eller's been running for that seat for forever, it
Yep.
seems. And Mississippi GOP hardly gives him any resources. It's come to the point where I've started to brainstorm in my head, what can we do? How can we bring all of the different PACs together that are in that area, whether it's Delta First, the veterans one, how can we bring these PACs together so that we can at least do something? Because you can't give up, because then they've already won and you haven't even started yet. So something has to happen. Something needs to pressure the Mississippi GOP to actually get involved in that race, because if you flip that seat, the House is almost in permanent Republican hands forever. And there's no reason it shouldn't be. Everyone knows that they have a deal with Benny Thompson. Everyone knows it. Everyone sees it. It needs to change because it's absolutely ridiculous, and people are suffering because of it in District 2.
You want to know, with the Voter Rights Act that's being challenged in Louisiana, people don't realize it, but that has another tool that the left, and I'll say the political class, some people want to call it the Illuminati, one world government, whatever. I'm not going down that argument. I'm just saying the political class used that for the left, and that's about to be taken away. And when you look at what's going to happen with the 2030 census, where all of these different groups are leaving blue states and going to red states. Here, let's take this call real quick. We'll see what happens. Go for it. Go ahead. You're on the air with Blake and Andrew. What's going on, my man? Or Blake, ma'am? Not sure.
Yeah. A way you can solve the problem with the black single parenthood household, you got to lift up black wages. That's a good solution. You can start there. Unless you want to get all technical, because it's gonna take a lot. But one solution, you can lift up the pay of black people. Okay, it's a wealth issue. It's a financial issue. Number one. So the America needs to try to uplift the financial earnings of black people, because they have been, I guess, I'm trying to find the right word, is like outed on that anyway in America since day one. Like, black people are not high earners in income in America. Never have been, and probably never will be until America changes that.
How would you suggest we change that, my man?
It's a lot of ways you can change that. It's a lot of ways you can change that. You can change it through education. You can change it through skills and all that. But it needs to be changed. That's the problem. That's why you have a lot of single black mothers, because sometimes income and income earners clash. And so if you're gonna give a black mother a house and jack her up as if she's a top income earner, and she don't have to do nothing but lay down all day and sit on the porch, then she probably will take that more so than dealing with a black father, grown man. All he makes is $11 an hour because of certain reasons and things of that nature. And sometimes it's not 100% on him. It's a conglomerate of things that he can't control. The reason why he makes $11 an hour. Then you give the black woman a scapegoat by saying, well, you don't have to live with him. I'll give you a nice home and a nice neighborhood, and you get on HUD.
Yep. I agree with that, brother. I think
so. It makes everything complex, and therefore you're going to have this type of stuff that's going on. Until that, they should have never did that. That's stupidity.
Do you
And the black woman thinks she's a full-fledged adult, and she don't pay nothing for rent.
Nope.
And even in child support court in the state of Mississippi, a white female told me a long time ago that an old white judge, when he looks at a black man in child support court, he looks at as the black woman as the more responsible parent and let the child stay with her, even though she don't even have a job.
Nope.
And depending on the government. But the black father is in court and he makes $10 an hour. But the old white judge say he ain't fit to be responsible.
So you talked about education.
But y'all gave her a house, a fake house, a facade of a life of a responsible parent.
Yep.
But you give the child now the benefit to her.
Isn't that amazing? What with respect to education, do you think I hear the black female getting the HUD money and not having to get a job and having all this out there. I'm trying to think about how we solve it too, because the more people.
Let me tell you, boomer white males in court. That's how they look at the black male. He don't care if he make $150,000 a year. He'll still put everything with the black woman who get food stamps and nothing and don't work. That's been going on for years in the state of Mississippi. And I had a white girl tell me, that white grown woman tell me that she worked in youth court, and that's what goes on. In the boomer, old white men eyes, they feel like a black male is not a responsible person. But the black woman is, and she don't even got a job. That's what needs to be talked about.
Well, and we're definitely talking about it here on WYAB. But
because old white folk look at black men like they gorillas.
Now I got pushed back there. Not all white men do that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They don't think we are real men.
So do you think that I don't think you're a real man?
I don't know what you think. I'm not in your brain, but more than likely, probably not. When you see a black man, you don't see no man.
So
you see a gorilla. Or a little boy, and he's 56 years old.
I would argue to say
he's responsible enough to take care of a house and kids. But when you see a black woman, she cooking at the gas station. Oh, she can cook. She can take care of some kids. But she cooking with SNAP money.
You're right.
She ain't cooking with cash money.
You're right there. But
when I go to the store, I gotta spend cash money. She's swiping the card.
Yep. But this is the thing
That's what the problem is. White people played a part in this too. The white government got fooled by the black woman.
But what you have to look at
now
is
now you got the result. The black kids, our friends are embarrassed.
Bringing them down a minute. We got to fix this. You can't sit there and say that all white people this, because if you can say all white people look at black men as gorillas, then you can say all black men look at white men as crackers, and you can't do that because we don't think like that. Now that's how this whole situation wants us to talk and talk over each other and everything, but we can't get to that point, because if we can't see the inherent good that is in you, the inherent good that's in me or Blake or someone else, we're just going to continue to fight this on.
Absolutely, and that's what we're trying to change, because that's what's got us in this position.
Well,
and these old senators and politicians, old white senators and politicians, and things of that nature, because they were the one who wrote the Mississippi child support law back in the day.
Do you think the Mississippi child support law is the same as the California child support law? That's the same?
I'm not sure. I know the Mississippi child support law was written with no thought, human thought.
Woo. Hey, my man, I don't want to hang up on you, but I've got to hit this break. Can you call back, or can you hang on through the break? Because this is great stuff, and we're actually talking this out as gentlemen, and Blake's here, and I'm here. Can you hang on, or do you need to run?
Sure.
All right, we're going to take our commercial break. We will be right back. We will be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB. Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Whether new construction or remodeling, Stephen Arrington and his team at Elite Custom Construction can design and build your dream kitchen and cabinets, inside and outside. Using high-quality products, Elite Custom Construction specializes in cabinetry and intricate millwork. Established in 2011, licensed and insured, Elite Custom Construction is your solution to your next project. Call Stephen at 601-927-0552 or visit them online at elitecustomconstruction.net.
Hi, this is Lee Atkins of Home Care Plus in Ridgeland. We are a proud carrier of Abena Premium Incontinence products. Abena has the most absorbency available, making changes and leaks less likely. After 7 years as a seller, I can tell you these products are amazing and worth every penny to quality of life for patient and caregiver. And we ship all incontinence products as well. So please come see us at Home Care Plus in Ridgeland for all the incontinence needs of you or your family member. That's Home Care Plus in Ridgeland.
Have you noticed all these people acting like the sky is falling? All this tariff talk has folks real nervous, but at Eye Gear Optical, we've got you covered. Our prices remain solid on all our quality products, while all other shops are raising prices. We are not. Come get a great pair of eyeglasses, computer glasses, or sunglasses that fit you, your lifestyle, and your budget every day at Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at eyegearoptical.com.
Why don't you mind your own business?
Mind my own business? What's that supposed to mean?
No, I was just thinking about all of the news of tax changes, insurance changes, regulations that are being passed down to business owners. I don't have the time to keep growing and to keep up with changing payroll regulations.
I know. It seems like all I do is handle employee-related problems.
You know, I hear People Lease can help.
How can they help?
People Lease can handle our payroll, taxes, employee benefits, and workers' compensation. They even offer an affordable and customizable 401k program and a 24/7 online human resources support center for all my HR needs.
Think of all the time we'll save letting People Lease handle our payroll and benefits administration. I'll be busy growing my business and letting People Lease take care of the rest.
Sounds like a good business plan with People Lease.
Let People Lease mind your business so you can mind your own business. Call now 601-987-3025. That's 601-987-3025. Or visit freepayrollquotes.com for your free quote.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink special, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Business owners, tired of drowning in payroll, compliance, and back office headaches? People Lease has your back. People Lease can free you from the never-ending grind of employee administration, such as time and attendance, onboarding, background checks, even business insurance. While you focus on growing your business, People Lease handles the paperwork. Stop stressing and start succeeding. Partner with People Lease, locally based in Ridgeland. Visit peoplelease.com and get back to business.
And we are back on the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. I'm here. Blake, you here?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Caller, are you here? On the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. So we were talking about that, and I'm gonna. Caller, are you here? Your big thing was talking about. So we were talking about the old white population. Your
old
big
white
thing was
government.
talking about. Yep. So Brother Blake. I'm looking at you. You appear to be white to me.
Maybe.
What do you think about this? About the white government purposely trying to go after. Do you feel like it's that?
I think in the 60s that was true, and I think that's a lot of the reason they put some of the stuff they did into the Civil Rights Act, which is why you have the subsidization of single motherhood in this country. I think in the 60s that was true. I don't think that's true today, and I think that if we continue a message of antagonizing a whole race, we're not going to get anywhere, and you're just going to get more backlash. I don't think that's true today. And I think that if we continue a
Mr.
message
Caller,
of
what do you think
antagonizing
about
a whole
that?
race,
How do we address
you're just going to get
address
more
that?
backlash than you would have.
Well,
Mr. Caller, what do you think about that? How do we
address when you was on with Clay,
that?
you even said it yourself. You said the laws that they passed in 72, 82, and 94.
Yep.
Caused a lot of this. And what the caller the other guy don't realize that those laws are still in effect still to this day. They haven't been, whatever the word is, reversed.
Mm-hmm. So
those laws still in apply today.
And I don't think the government's trying to enforce them like that today. And I think that a lot of what you've seen, at least on the conservative right, is a push for a culture change because that's ultimately where it starts. And I think that that's what they tried to do a little bit in the One Big Beautiful Bill, where they started to change some of the way that welfare was treated and how it was sent out.
Right, but it's like I said, people take advantage of the law, loophole. And that's what the black woman did. She took advantage of the loopholes of the law, and that was blatant to see for years, all through the crack epidemic. Like, what is wrong with y'all to allow a crack-headed black woman in 1990 to have a house full of children?
That would be something you'd have to ask the judges and the people back then.
The people that wrote them laws back then.
Well, obviously they were trying to let that happen, but like I said, they're trying to fix that, and they did start to fix it in whenever they passed the Big Beautiful Bill, because they changed the way that welfare was sent out and who can apply for it. If you don't have a job, and if you don't have a job and you're able to work, you're not going to get it. That's the whole that they're trying to fix that.
Yeah, right. But look how long, from 1990 to 2025, you have wiped out black folks at that point.
What do you say to the people who said, look, race relations was fine between Black America and white America up until President Obama was elected, and then something changed? Do you believe that, or do you think that that there was something else there? Because you can, if you look at like income for black families, it did start going down after President Obama was elected. I'm not saying why. I'm just saying that's the facts. The other thing that's really big to me, and I'd really like your opinion on this, my man, is how do you feel about the black community and black fathers being in the home? Do you feel like that it is actually decreased to the numbers that they said it is, number one? And number two, do you think that the black father can come back?
Well, that's a complex question, but the thing about it is with black people, like I said, you got to stick to what's going on. If you make it easier for a black female to have a baby, like a black female can have a baby for free at 16, is everything free? She can do all this stuff free that is detriment to the society.
We agree, and that's
Nobody else can do that.
We agree, and that's why we think that it needs to change, because obviously that hasn't worked.
Right, because if she, the black female, is not right, she's the liberal person gender in the black community. And if you don't, what y'all fail to realize, that black men are way more conservative than you think we are.
I agree. I think they are very conservative.
We telling her, no, you can't be like that. But y'all have, the white government has jacked the black woman over so much power over the black family that you can't really tell a black female nothing. You cannot counsel her. You cannot correct her.
Well, that's why it needs to change.
Unless you put your hands on her, then you're going to jail.
Yep. What I'd say is this too. As much as you're talking about the black community, my man, I'm talking about the white community as well, because the same thing happens with single white females. We see them on TikTok. They're everywhere. And my friend, would you do me a favor? Would you text my?
But I'm telling you about the single white. They don't have a bunch of kids. Black women got 7 children.
That's not necessarily true at all.
My friend, I can promise.
Black females on TikTok acting a fool with 5, 6, 7 children, about 5, 6, 7 different
some
black
some white women are as well, and I think that instead of necessarily looking at a race on race lens, which doesn't do anybody any favors, maybe look at it from the law and try to change the law so that we can make it better for everybody instead of looking at it as a race issue, which is why we're in this problem that we're in the first place.
But the thing about it, white folks do not put her on the pedestal though. Black folk put black women with 5 baby daddies on a pedestal, like she's the queen of the community.
That's why it's a culture issue.
That's the difference. Y'all shame that white girl that got 5 children singly, but in the black community, that's a badge of honor to have.
Then maybe we need to change the culture.
By yourself.
So you have just made an outstanding observation, my friend, in that you man, we got to take another commercial break. Dude, do me a favor. Could I ask a favor of you before I run? Would you text my text line? And if it's all right with you, I'd love for you to call in again when I've got more time, when I'm not up against the break.
All right.
Dude, I'll look for the text. The number is 601-879-5060. Just text me. And sir, I'm saying this with sincerity and genuine thank you for calling the show, man. You made some great points, and this is the only way we're going to start fixing this is by hashing it out. So,
Absolutely.
Brother, thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right, we'll talk
Have
to
a
you
good
later.
One.
All right, dude, that was absolutely incredible phone call. My only problem is that I gotta go pay some bills. So we're gonna go pay those bills, and when we get back, we have Brother Blake here. We'll continue to go on this. The number is 601-879-0002. Call in if you like. You're listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We will be right back. We will be right back.
1039 WYAB.
Seeing well plays a big role in helping you read well. That's why it's not a minute too soon for students of all ages to schedule an eye exam with Dr. Bobby C. Pankey and Associates in Clinton and Richland. They can also help you with a great selection of frames, lenses, and contacts, all at affordable prices. See well, read well, do well. For all your back-to-school eye care needs, visit Optical 2000 Clinton and Richland. Optical-2000.com.
Stay in touch. Follow Optical 2000 on Facebook.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts. And the Rusty Healy Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
CBS News special report, a signing ceremony underway now in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt for the Gaza peace deal. President Trump is there for a regional summit to chart the course ahead.
All leaders, the big leaders are here, the emirs and the kings and everybody, and it's a very interesting group. I guess we have like 35 countries, and that's only because they were the 35 that we invited. Everybody that we invited came. So there's a lot of respect.
Earlier in Israel, he called it an incredible triumph as Hamas released the remaining 20 living hostages it held. Israel freed 1,900 Palestinian prisoners. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
You are committed to this peace. I am committed to this peace. And together, Mr. President, we will achieve this peace.
Israel has rejected any role in Gaza for the Palestinian Authority, whose leader is at the Egypt summit. CBS News special report. I'm Steve.
For over 15 years, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for your auto repair and maintenance needs. From brake repair to placement, to radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, and AC water pumps, and more, A1 will get your vehicle back up and running and on the road and in a timely manner. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, and rings and pinions. Call today to set up an appointment, or if you got questions, at 601-939-1060. A1 Gear and Auto, your hometown vehicle specialist.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris at Fannin Mart on the Res is quickly becoming Rankin County's go-to spot for pizza, burgers, pasta, appetizers, daiquiris, and more. Try their famous Wheel of Flavor pizza. You can add up to 3 different specialty pizzas onto one pie, such as the Margarita, Sergeant Pepperoni, Acme Beat Buster, Pig, Pesto Chicken, the Old Mexico, the Supreme, or hey, just build your own custom pizza. Acme also has a full bar with 9 different frozen daiquiris to choose from. Open daily at 4 p.m. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris.
This is Lori at the Mailroom Gluckstadt with exciting news. We now offer photo services and large format printing, such as banners, yard signs, blueprints, and canvas prints. We also print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the Mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. MailroomGluckstadt.com.
In the heart of Flora, there's a place where love, laughter, and comfort come with every cut, color, and style. At our family-owned salon, you're not just a client. You're part of the family. Come share a smile with Shelby, Henley, and Rhonda, ready to make you feel beautiful inside and out. Whether it's a fresh new look or a little time to relax, we've got the chair waiting for you. So step in and feel at home. Find us on Facebook at In Style Salon Flora.
Oh, yeah. We are back on the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. Phone line is open. Text line is open. But we got some breaking news. President Trump just signed the peace deal. Blake, take it away, man.
So in Egypt at the peace summit, President Trump has officially signed the peace deal that will put in motion peace in the Gaza Strip and in Israel. So the hostages are being returned. Israel is honoring its side of the deal. So for the first time in a while, we finally have some lasting peace in the Middle East, and with the leadership of President Trump, but ultimately with the grace of God, we were able to achieve it.
I agree with that. And again, Blake, my text over the weekend were like, Trump got screwed out of the peace deal or the Nobel Peace Prize. Everybody, he wasn't technically properly nominated this year for the Peace Prize.
Next year, it better be him, though. If it's not, then oh my goodness gracious.
Then there will truly be we'll know that organization is absolutely.
I mean, they gave it to Obama for nothing, so I mean, we already know. So,
you know, we had a texter text in, Miss Carey. She goes, I agree with a lot what the caller was saying, but the fact that all white men think black men are gorillas is crap. I'm sure there might be some out there that think that, but and she goes, and I'm no man, so I can't speak for a man, but dang, he's exactly right. The single white girl with multiple baby daddies, white people shame black girls in the same boat, but they are put on a pedestal.
And that's why I said that it's really a culture issue. But if you're not going to acknowledge what President Trump and a lot of the more conservative right is trying to do and acknowledging that and changing that, then you're just going about it the wrong way. And we need to stop looking at it as a race issue and looking at it as a culture issue and the way that we approach it in this country.
I guess what, and look, I know that there are a lot of black, you heard the gentleman say it, there's a lot of black men who are really conservative.
Yeah.
Look, if you are interested in becoming part of the solution, go ahead and text me 601-879-5060. We'll go to lunch. I'm looking forward to going to lunch with this dude, and I'm just going to explain how it works. And could you imagine if we had someone like him in the State House?
That'd be awesome. We need to, you were talking about this earlier because I was listening to the first hour on my way up here, is that you have a lot of people that talk and complain, but what are you going to actually do about it? And if you want to fix the issues, you have to get involved. You have to go find your local conservative chapter. You have to go volunteer for campaigns. That is the way that you put in the real work that's going to get real results.
And you know, I really commend that guy because, like he says, you know, what we're talking about is poo-pooed in black culture.
Yeah.
And the black single mom is put on a pedestal, and it's different for our culture. So we have to start putting in the things into place right now, whether that be Clay's show, my show, Kim's show, whoever, you know, and it's going to be much more than just WYB. But
absolutely,
we start talking about this now. And, you know, the one thing that they're going to hear in your voice, brother, my voice, guy who called in, is the sincerity.
Mhm.
We're not sitting here trying to get elected to go do something, anything like that. We want to actually have change in
Yeah.
Jackson. And look, it's the Black community that's going to have to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. It's just not going to be the white community.
It's just not, because that's obviously the dynamics of the city. But yeah, that's how it's going to happen, and it needs to happen if this state wants to succeed, because the economic possibilities that are possible in the city of Jackson alone will boom this state beyond belief. You think about it, you have I-55 and I-20 that intersect right there at the city of Jackson. That's a golden opportunity. You have so many opportunities, whether in Brandon and Madison County as well. The economic possibilities that would unleash the potential of the state even further are right there in the city of Jackson. Something has to change so the state can get that to happen.
Right in Jackson too, you got the Canadian Pacific, Kansas City Southern Railroad coming right through. I mean,
so many things.
You could do so much with that industrial area around that railroad track.
And that'll help the Delta out as well.
Oh, absolutely. It'll help all of Mississippi out. The other thing I wish that would happen is and this is going to sound bad because it's going to affect all of us, but we really need to start accurately reflecting the price of food and making junk food cost more than good food.
Yeah.
And that means a $5 Snicker bar or a $10 Snicker bar.
Yeah.
But by the way, and people are going to be like, you're not going to tell me what to eat. Don't tell me what to do with my body. You immediately hear that. But we're making all of these decisions that are completely negative for our own health and welfare. And you look, as an American, dude, if Blake, we all need to go down here because we got to check in with that. We're going to be like, forget you, man. I'm not going there. But we have to figure out, again, how to gentle answers, start pushing people in the right direction. And that's genuinely what I want to do. There's so many more text messages coming in. This is
yeah, I can tell you, as a young kid, it's like the diets of kids these days is horrible, and it's a lot of the reason why they can't focus. They don't have a lot of energy, and they don't really want to achieve much because their diets are sort of suppressing all of the natural hormones and other things that we have in our bodies that allow us to go achieve. So it's intentional as well. I don't have any mistake about that. It's in not only the food that you can get at like the gas station or whatever, but I think it's in our school lunches as well. School lunches are terrible for you. And that's why I pack my lunch every single day, because I'm not eating that stuff.
Whether it's school lunches, Chick-fil-A, your favorite organic restaurant, there are chemicals and dyes in our food, and it's not even debatable. RFK Jr. talked about it.
And
I had vanilla ice cream in Barcelona. It tasted nothing like the ice cream here.
Really,
dude. My wife's looking at me like I'm crazy. She's a scientist, and I'm like, I can taste the chemical. Dude,
yeah,
it is absolutely astounding to me.
And you were talking about earlier how much there's no obesity in Spain.
None.
And it makes you really wonder.
And by the way, they eat. They take siestas in the middle of the day. They eat up until midnight, and I mean they're putting it away, and it's just our culture here in America. While very awesome because it's very open and we're allowed to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
The Bill of Rights is a beautiful thing, but I think we've kind of lost our way as far as just because I can do something doesn't
mean you should.
Yes. And
that's true in all aspects of life, really.
Yep. And we have to somehow figure out how to bring this back, because our not just Black culture or white culture, but just American culture is we're in a bad place right now.
But we've been given a chance to fix it with this last election, and I think that you've seen that President Trump and the Trump administration are really trying to fix that. And I think that we need to get this opportunity, graciously accept it, and run with it, because that's how we're going to make this country truly great again.
Yep, Blake, we're going to take our last commercial break a little bit early, but in the last segment, this is what I want you to do. Put together in your mind a pitch segment to get people to follow you and reach out to you so we can start building your organization up.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When we're going to take our last break here at the Andrew Gosser Show. We'll be right back. Oh, yeah, it is the final segment of the Andrew Gosser Show. Real quick, before I turn over to Brother Blake, I want to remind everybody tomorrow, make sure you tune in at the 10 a.m. hour. I am going to play the Charlie Kirk audio clip that I believe got him assassinated, murdered, and ultimately martyred. With that, Brother Blake, where can people find you? How can they reach out to you? Tell us what's going on.
Yes, sir. So on Facebook, Facebook messages are always open. So Blake Bartlam on Facebook, BLAKE BARTLAM. That is where you can find me on Facebook. If you want to get involved in the state of Mississippi or even get some help out of state, whatever, reach out to me there and I'll see what I can do for you, because we need to build this movement now, because that's how we're going to fix this country. On X, at capital B and then Bartlam. So at B and then BARTLAM on X. Follow me there, because the more that we have a community, the more that we're going to be able to make change. So yeah, reach out, because if you need a voice, let's go get you that voice so you can talk and you can make change. The more that we work together, the better it's going to be. And we need people to actually get involved, because I've seen a lot of talking in the few years that I've been involved in politics. I haven't seen a whole lot of action. And thankfully, I've been able to surround myself with people that are all about action. So we need to get involved so that we can go get wins. And one thing I like to say is real results, real wins for the people of Mississippi. That's what we're after.
Real results, real wins. No sound bites and slogans here. It's all about action. And that's what we need to have happen. Blake, it is so refreshing to see people like you, and there's not many like you, who are so young, who are plugging in so many people. And the great thing is that it's going to lead to great things further down the road. Does Rankin have a Turning Point USA club?
Okay, so this is not a long story, but there's a lot of context behind it. So there was one, I want to say 7 years ago or so, maybe 6, and it sort of fell apart because not a lot of people could get involved. And I tried to start one at school, not enough interest. I might try again before I head out the door, because you can have a high school chapter and then you can have an activism hub, and activism hub opens up to more than just high school. But with the influx, I don't know if I'd be able to get it done. But so it is possible. So Rankin County has had one. It just there hasn't been enough interest. But I think given recent events, that'll probably change. And that's something we need to do, because I think Turning Point is a far greater resource than the Young Republicans Club.
I've there, and I have to be truthful. I'm an executive member of the Hinds County Republican Party. Tomorrow night, we're actually having an event at the Iron Horse at 5:30, and I'll plug it again tomorrow. But the whole thing is that I want to grow the Republican Party, but I also see the challenges of trying to grow the Republican Party inside the party. And the truth of the matter is we need to bring people in from outside and who have strong beliefs, who have spines, who have backbones, who can go out there and get the job done. And it's not just a problem that Mississippi has here. Mississippi,
it's national.
It's national. I mean, trying to bring somebody in Illinois, it was like you thought you were literally bringing someone to an exorcism. It's like, and you see them, and they're like, oh my gosh, somebody new. We don't know how they act. And but that's where people like you and I come in. We try to help people out. Look, Blake, you are such a blessing when you come into the show.
Well,
I really appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
The next day you have off, let me know. We'll hook you up.
Absolutely.
We'll see you in about 22 hours, everybody. Take care. Be blessed.
God bless y'all.